change, Liberia's foremost, biggest opposition political institution, in presence of Comrade Jefferson Tamaikoji. We speak to the nation today. We address the Liberian people on 3 thematic, strategic trending issues confronting the motherland. And he will begin with addressing the most recent issue that has to do with the Charlotte Musu situation. As you know very well, the court has passed the verdict. He will speak to that as well. He also going to speak on the issue that has to do with this Coalition for Democratic Change or the Congress for Democratic Change latest meeting that was held with the ECOWAS delegation to Liberia. And outcome from that meeting and other issues will be highlighted in his presentation. And lastly, he will talk to our partisans, the nation, our people, on the status, on the state affairs of the headquarters of the Indomitable Mighty Congress for Democratic Change. So basically, these are 3 thematic strategic areas that the Secretary General of our party will be communicating to the broader masses of our people about. We ask you to remain now attentive as we invite to the question the Congress Secretary General and Chief Commissar of the Secretary, Jefferson Tamaikoji.
Well, thank you so kindly, Comrade Fidel. You have my distinguished revolutionary salutation and appreciation for a calm presentation on behalf of our noble institution. We want to welcome you on the grounds of the Mighty Coalition for the Democratic Change. You distinguished members of the 4th Estate, you remain sine qua non to the forward march of our fledgling democracy. And that's what in governance we ensure to protect the dignity and the sanctity of colleagues of the 4th Estate. Now that we are in opposition, we also enjoyed the harmonious relationship of the freedom of speech in our country. So we want to say if you are home and you are welcome and you can feel, if nowhere in Liberia you feel safe, the CDC boson is a symbol of safety to you, distinguished 4th Estate practitioner. We bring you fervent greetings from the Congress of Democratic Change under the dynamic stewardship of His Excellency Dr. George Liberia, symbol of leadership in Liberia and the continent at large. We quickly want to address about the unfortunate situation that occurred on the grounds of the Mighty Coalition for Democratic Change. We believe it was a calculated, systematic ploy to attack leaders of our institution and to also disfigure our political standing and our institution infrastructure. Since Mr. Boakas were fortunate to be tolerated as an individual in this country, he has remained restless in launching an onslaught on partisans, leaders, and on our institution. And in our mind and in our sense of leadership is to continuously call him out. His surrogates who work for him are doing exactly what pleases him. What pleases him? When the police was well armed, walk and march majestically on the grounds of the Martyr Coalition for Democratic Change, that was back then in August, on the 5th of August. It was an utter provocation, a sense of panic and pandemonium. Partisans and citizens went helter-skelter. We have to come and we engage them and we call on them. It says, you state security, do not allow yourself to become pawn in these political shenanigans. And they understood the clear and present danger at that moment, and they were reasonable enough to take safety over instruction. And so, without hesitation, they retreated. That is not something we take lightly. Unfortunately, again on the 22nd, they came here surreptitiously, well armed. They have instruments. We have identification cards representing the Liberian National Police who invaded our premises, lying to the public. We want to say here categorically clear to independent journalists, practitioners, civil society practitioners, come at the back at our premises. In the community, there is no ghetto, not at all. There is absolutely no ghetto in small town. No ghetto. Take a microphone, go to the residents, ask them. It was a calculated plan based on targeting key leaders of our institution. Perhaps they were under strict instruction to shoot them on sight and murder them. This place bear witness from the Unity Party records of murdering. Who knows? But we want to say to you that the CDC is far bigger than that political chicanery. So against that backdrop, the political leader called quickly and asked her to remain calm and called on all citizens and our partisans. He came here the next day. We had a very successful meeting. We communicated through the length and breadth of our country, and we were able to speak to stakeholders and partners, beginning with ECOWAS, AU, United Nations, the European Union, the United States Embassy near Monrovia. We were able to call their attention so that they can be aware the faction and manner in which Mr. Boaka is accelerating the demands of our peace. I can understand why Mr. Boaka is doing this. He has zero history in contributing in consolidating this peace. He has zero history. And that's why he is very excited in undermining the peace. But he can rest assured, we are the investors of this peace. We will not seek permission from Mr. Boakai. We will depend upon us, our leaders of our people, under the distinguished and dynamic leadership of the Martyr Coalition for Democratic Change. So the president wrote ECOWAS. We want to use this time to commend ECOWAS for its very impromptu response. We had a very frank conversation. We were in a meeting. We spoke, the President, Chief of Officer, former Commissioner of Maritime, Lane Eugene Langley, who articulated what transpired in our meeting excellently. And the President of ECOWAS were being informed. The President talked about the systematic violations and the flagrant disregard of the constitutional duty of our country. And so the President was categorically clear that Mr. Boakai and the Unity Party were protected here. They were allowed to exercise their civil right. And not only they were allowed, they were supported to exercise their civil right. And the President said categorically clear, he does not need a permission if any citizen wants to express their right. Mr. Boakai can do a favor, is to instill, provide protection for such action. And for us, we're not bothered about the way he chose to govern himself. Mr. President is very sober-minded about that. So the Liberian people must be given an opportunity to benefit from their decision. So he can proceed the way he proceeded. But bring them to our premises. You can rest assured on our side. We have passed strict instruction, clear instruction. The Lord of nature, the first law of nature is self-preservation. So we have said, and that's what we said to Mr. Boakai in our initial conversation with him. We have been very clear, categorically clear with him. If your sole desire is to inflict harm and dangers on sedition, then you need not to worry. We will assemble our people for you. Because we are sedition, we act together. We struggle together. It is a tough fate. So we assemble our people, then you can conduct a mass murdering. Because we like to go together. Because every sedition is under an obligation to protect another sedition. Every sedition. And that's why we easily say you touch one, you touch all. We were taught to stand together, to fight together, to sit together, and to coordinate together. And so we want to say to you that seditions has been effectively informed about the plan about Mr. Boakai against our institution and its partisans. So the message was very categorically clear, and ECOWAS understood fully well where we stand here. If anybody want to interpret that you think we're waiting for ECOWAS to come in this country to give our definition of our relevance, it's on you. And to be engaged into political chicanery and say ECOWAS had a prior meeting in ECOWAS, and you think that the CDC relevant a contingent on the core of ECOWAS, you must be drinking something stronger than water. You think we seek relevant? We are action-oriented institution. We do not push it forward. We are decisive people. We understand exactly, and you're not going to push us into what we do not want to do. So for us, we are we say to you consistently, we understand. We are people-driven institution. We understand the cause of our people. Unless the United Party, we subscribe to an anti-policy people-driven institution. And that's why all of their policies is being anti-people driven. So we understand the insensitivity of their governance system and their approach to people. So the ECOWAS was being followed, we want to say, Thank you, partisans. We want to inform you the message has been clear. Your leader has said, President George Manuel Weah is committed. He stood up for you. He will continue to stand up for you. He believes in you. He will do everything possible. And we want to say thank you to other political party solidarity forces who reach out to us. We want to say to you, we appreciate your reaching out. We appreciate every other thing you did, and to Liberian people. And we're calling on the civil society, our religious community, on Mr. Boakai. The next issue we want to, after Mr. Boakai failed and the partisans resisted in the strongest thing possible to protect them. Somebody say, why the people here? So we must sit here and people march in here and take away life. You're joking. You're joking. The situation for King George is yet to be. And you have a group of people who has been led by an individual who believe that taking away life looks like a child play. Life has been taken away by the police systematically. But we're not surprised to have Nelson Fremont here as deputy for operation. Nelson, and let me say to you, let me look to you in this camera, Nelson Fremont. I don't normally do these things. I hear the day ECOWAS arrived here and you went and posted and say you have the capacity. And the next time, don't worry, Nelson. Apparently, you have the experience. Say you were associated with Chancellor in Banga. We know your history for the way we have done that. We have decided to profile you now, so it's a very good thing. The only thing that bless you is we thought that we should let it go. For you to pride yourself with chronic and make it arrogant, and you think you're a serious person, and you think you can come here attracting people, we'll not say much to you. We are men with less word, but with deliberate conviction. You can rest assured, never again in your existing, you can harm a exhibition. If that ever happened, the consequences will be unspecified. It will certainly be unspecified. I'm speaking to you directly, Nelson Fremont. I know you. So we got to understand the next time, no sedition. I'm talking about if anything that happened, whether maybe you'll be thinking that not you particularly, if a police in any form of manner inflict any casualty on sedition, any other person, you can rest assured that this time around there will be unspecified consequences. Not just only you as a person, anything that is associated with you, you can rest assured will be in the know of that. We want to say that the party headquarters, the Unity Party, thinking that the way Mr. Barker said he will erase the CDC, he's engaged in every effort to have the CDC erased. But that is a dangerous play for Mr. Boakai. We got news for him. To erase the CDC, you might be venturing in trying to erase yourself. Because to erase the to even imagine to erase the CDC is tantamount to erase your generation. Because the CDC, maybe you're making a mistake. The CDC is not the structure you see standing here. The CDC is a growing concern. The CDC is an idea. It is a philosophy. It is a philosophical belief that people subscribe to. Generations yet unborn subscribe to the ideologies of the CDC. So any creature under the sun who can imagine of trying to erase the CDC, that person must be tantamount to insanity. Because it's not possible. It do not exist. Not in our generation, not even the generation after us. The CDC is here to stay, and the CDC will stay because it is the people's property. That is what the people feel so well attached. So what they have done, they have gone into their partisan. We want to say to you, go to bed and rest. The CDC take not even a micro inch from this headquarters. Not even a micro inch. Any kind of a careless and spineless creature who vomited on any platform and saying that the CDC have decided to leave from here, you must clearly understand that that creature is a cursed creature. And I speak directly to Stanton Witherspoon. I speak to him directly. Liberia has many other curses. Stanton is one of the curses that we have to deal with. He's one of the curses that we have to deal with. And maybe you think it's a joke. It's not a joke. Stanton Witherspoon is a curse to this land. A man who parades with dead conscience. And I'm asking you, I keep telling you, take it for a joke. If Stanton Witherspoon, if you have a privilege to ask his relatives, beginning with his wife and his daughter, I believe strongly they will disown that curse. They do not want to associate with that curse. A man who, with a dead conscience, shamelessly, spinelessly,